Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. And in today's video, I have taken an interesting novel written by Easterine Kire, and the title is When the River Sleeps. The novel When the River Sleeps, it is based in northeastern states of Nagaland, and it is a story about Naga custom, Naga belief, Naga ritual, Naga folklore, and everything that is related to Naga community of northeastern India. Okay, so the novel When the River Sleep, it was published in 2014, if I'm not wrong, and you can recheck it. And it is a novel written by Northeast Indian writer Easterine Kire. And in the novel, there is a protagonist, and the protagonist's name is Willy. Okay, Willy. Willy is a lone hunter, and he sets out to find the river of his dreams. Besides, that is also a place from which he will be able to wrest a stone that will give him infinite powers. And in the quest of stone, he must overcome both natural and supernatural elements, including horrific spirits, vengeful sorceresses, merciless demons of the forest, including armed men on his trail. Moreover, the novelist has also attempted to depict the folklores, landscapes, customs, rituals, traditions, superstitions, cultures, folk lives, close-knit communities, religious beliefs, rhythms of day-to-day lives of Naga ethnic tribe, especially Angami. We all know there are many Naga sub-tribes in Nagaland. Okay, so the writer has tried to encompass all the Naga beliefs, especially Angami, as the writer herself is belongs to Angami tribe. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, then please correct me, of Nagaland. In addition to that, the tale also blends the mundane reality of nettle harvesting women sharing their rice gruel with Veli as he stops to rest en route to the sleeping river, with the fantastical elements of were tigress and spirits, including mysterious powers of the Hearthstone itself. Furthermore, the setting of the story is based on the far-flung village life and wild forests, which are diametrically infested by countless spirits. There are certain forests that are inhabited by spirits. The spirits are depicted as real and powerful as human beings. Even the evil spirits would also attack human beings, especially those who fear or those who are weak-hearted. But it is also delineated through the plot of the novel how were tigress retreat when it is called by name, and spread his scare and care, when kindness and love abound along with cruelty and avarice. So through this novel, we will got to know many things that is related to our day-to-day life, and that is also quite meaningful for us in our pragmatic life. So without any delay, let's try to know the summary of this interesting novel. So let's start the summary of this novel. So before the starting of the novel, the summary, I would like to clarify one thing here, that there are many words that's pronunciation may not be up to the standard, as the writer has written it in her own native language. Means some words are taken from her own native Naga language. So that means some pronunciation may not be the up to the standard, and I'm extremely sorry for that. Okay, let's begin. So I have already mentioned in my introduction that Billy is the protagonist of this novel When the River Sleeps, and he is on his journey, on his quest to find the precious stone. Okay, then uh, Willie, he is the protagonist of the novel, and he is the forest guardian who is paid by the forest department to look after the endangered bird. Blight is Tragopan, the bird's name. He lives in the thickly wooded areas close to the village of Juji. Therefore, he looks. Therefore, he also looks after the majestic Gui, the domesticated bisons that roam in the wild and feed on tree fern. Then Billy has chosen the solitary life of a forest dweller, and he was remain unmarried throughout his life. Despite repeated requests by his female relatives for him to take a wife in the village, he has constantly resisted them, saying that the forest is my life. The forest is my wife, and I would not going to be married. And when the book began, Willie was about to set off on a journey to find the mythical sleeping river, a story he had heard from other hunters, which he retold in turn. The legend went on that any man who could wrest a heartstone out of the sleeping river could use it to gain wealth, grain, women, and victory in battle. So I have already discussed that Billy was after the precious stone in the sleeping river, means that he will get only in the sleeping river or crossing the sleeping river. So he wanted to get it, and if he gets that, then what will happen? Then he will gain wealth, grain, women, and victory in battle. That's why that was his inspiration. Having heard repeated dreams about the sleeping river, Willie finally takes the decision to go on the journey. Then the route he takes shows the readers the topography over which he travels. Wood paths lead him to the Nepali settlement where a few families live and carry on lodging as a livelihood. Lodging means, you all know, lodging means by cutting tree, you make timber, you build timber. So that is a kind of business related to lodging. Beyond the Nepali settlement, the map that Willie will follow goes thus: long rows of fields, the Natal forest, groups of low hills, the unclean forest, country markets, and the border village, which serve as the entrance to the region of the sleeping river. After that, Veli begins his travels, and after being hosted by the Nepali family, he next meets bank harvesters at the Natal forest. But the journey has not all been smooth. Veli, spending a night in a shed, is attacked by a were tiger. But he repulses the attack by addressing the were tiger using the name of its human owner. Then the following evening, he meets a group of hunters, and he is utterly happy to travel in their company. But in the dead of night, an inebriated hunter shoots dead the leader of the group. Afterwards, Willie is also shot at when he discovers the murder, and he runs to safety only to discover that he has become a murder suspect. And then this encounter throws him off the path he was faithfully following to reach the sleeping river. Thereafter, Willie shelters in the unclean forest, feverish from the gunshot wound, recovers, and eventually surrenders himself to the Poji and is interrogated. Eventually, they are convinced of his innocence, and he continues on his way and meets women traders who guide him to the border village. Then he is hosted, hosted by the wise couple Kani and Subali. Kani accompanies him to the sleeping river where they find the river asleep and the body of water lying as still as painting. They have to wait until the widow spirits perform their strange ritual of fetching water and return to their dwellings up the hill. After that, they have gone. Willie rushed in, and the river awakened as he plucked a hard stone from it. The strong current of the awakened river threatened to overwhelm him, but he fought it and clings to his prize. Then, when he climbed out of the river, the frenetic race began as the two of them were chased by the widow spirits that jealously guarded the territory of the river. Then the pair escaped the widow spirits when Kani used his spiritual authority to command them to retreat. After that, Willie discovered that getting hold of the heart stone was only the beginning of his adventures. Actually, Sobali warned him that he was now in great danger because now on both humans and spirits would try to steal the heart stone from him. Then the old couple imparted their wise teachings to him so that he could be guarded against spirits' attacks. After that, Billy left and traced his way back home with the heart stone in his bag. Then he came across the Tuesday market where he was warned not to linger after the market was over as spirits took over the marketplace. He continued his journey the next day and came to the strange village of the Kelhoukevira. That was a group of women with spirits powers outcasted by their ancestral villages. Then he was attacked on the second day by the bitter and twisted Jyoti who stole the hearthstone in order to avenge herself on her ancestral village. Then Willie and his hostess Atty retrieved the stone only after Jyoti had destroyed the village completely and been killed in the process. After that, when they found the village of Kirufumia abandoned, they left for village. Afterwards, their path was fraught with danger and suffering as they first came to the shed where the killing of the hunter occurred. Then Billy had to be purged of guilt for his failure to intervene when he had the chance to prevent the killing. After that, Atty was attacked by a spirit tiger that killed her. Billy then engaged fearsome spirits presence in a terrible spiritual combat until it was revived again. All these experiences taught Billy the meaninglessness of wealth, the futile of wealth, and treasures promised by the hearthstone itself. The real treasures that it offered was spiritual, as they battled spirits thwarting their progress. Both Willie and Ed continued to grow spiritually. There comes a point when Billy realizes it is not the hearthstone that is to be valued, but the spiritual wisdom that the Creator deity has imparted to him during the course of his journey to the sleeping river and back. He feels he is very different man from the one who sets off on the quest for the sleeping river. Then he is more drawn to the spirit side of life and no longer attracted by the wealth and hearthstone promised to secure for him. The hearthstone promised him untold wealth, infinite wealth and power, but by the end of the quest, Willie has discovered for himself and for the reader that the true fact that wealth and true power only lie in understanding the spirit world and how to free oneself of all the flesh is so vulnerable to. So that's it. It is a kind of little fable that is beautifully depicted by the writer, by the novelist Easterine Kire, and there is many learning lessons from this novel also, and the moral of this story of this novel, according to me, is we should always uh, we should always strive for spiritual fulfillment instead of material greediness. Thank you so much for watching the video, and do not treat this video as your sole video for your preparation for your exam, whatever you are preparing for. This is just a drop in the ocean. If you do not read the book, then this video is nothing for you. It may mislead you. You have to read, then only things will be better for you. Thank you so much.